Tonight, Kimber residents meet with the Federal Health Minister as they struggle to get a permanent GP. And two Eyre Peninsula sporting leagues considering a merger.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. $300,000 in federal funding will go towards a new health project in Kimber. Health Minister Greg Hunt made the announcement today during a visit to the town as locals continue their search for a permanent GP.
Combating South Australia's rural health shortages, Kimber's healthcare crisis was the focus of the Health Minister's visit to the town today.
This is about getting more doctors and more nurses and more health professionals into the Eyre Peninsula.
Healthcare leaders from across the region spoke about issues they face every day.
The lack of a doctor starts to eat into the economic base of a community because people go out of town to see a doctor.
They've been getting on with it, whether it's here in Kimber, whether it's in Streaky Bay or Cleve or elsewhere.
The Kimber Mayor welcoming the announcement of funding for a project officer, saying it's a step forward for the town.
To announce that there's funding so we can do some real research and invest some money into some models to provide some solutions, really fantastic.
Here, just off of Kimber's Main Street, this council-owned building set up as a doctor's office is ready but empty, with no permanent doctor on site for nearly 4 years. But a temporary fix will soon be in place with a Tumby Bay doctor to work 3 days a week. He says the town deserves a local medical professional.
All small communities need a resident GP, and it's really hard work for the local community to live without a GP.
We're really excited to not just have a doctor coming, but one with Dr Fleming's experience.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Police have charged a man with theft after a break-in at a home on Sunray Street in Whyalla Stuart on Thursday morning. A 45-year-old man allegedly entered the property while the occupant was asleep and stole personal items including a wallet and watch. Police recovered the stolen items and the man was charged with aggravated serious criminal trespass and theft. New South Wales Labor leader Jodi Mackay will tour the Broken Hill and the Far West this week. It's her first trip to the region since becoming the leader of the opposition in June.
Soon to be in town, getting to know the region.
She's in town, but she also wants to talk to other people about what are some of the current issues they're facing.
After Labor's defeat in this year's state election, Jodi Mackay replaced Michael Daly as New South Wales opposition leader.
She'll be going straight up to Menindee. I think she's having a public forum there. She's talking to the community, understanding what is currently happening around the lakes.
The Darling River Action Group will be part of an escort showing Miss Mackay the effects of the ongoing water crisis. They're hoping the tour will ensure the ongoing issue remains at the forefront of state politics.
So it's our opportunity to, at this stage, let them know what's going on so they can continue that fight in opposition and in the parliament.
Mr Kennedy says the visit is an early sign Labor remains committed to the region.
When that's a major party, it gives us the opportunity to have direct input to those people. No matter how you look at it, 4 years' time there's another election. To be talking to those people is an advantage. And
Miss Mackay will hold a meet and greet for local residents at the Demo Club tomorrow night from 6 o'clock. Patrick Royenke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Ratepayers on the Copper Coast are bearing the brunt of the cost of illegal dumping. Council says 90,000 kilograms was collected last year, with locals footing the clean-up bill.
A build-up of waste on our footpaths and public spaces. York Peninsula locals have caught a case of the litter bug.
Last year for illegal dumping for the Copper Coast Council, it cost us about $52,000 and there was about 90,000 kilograms of illegal dumping.
From discarded TVs to old mattresses and used sofas. Illegal dumping on the Copper Coast is taking its toll.
There was like about 60 different mattresses and about 220 tyres last year.
Council says the actions of a minority of people is hitting all ratepayers in their pockets.
The expense of cleaning that up is met by all of the ratepayers, so the community are having to meet that expense and pay that.
The Mayor says that attitudes of dumpers needs to change.
Is people's laziness. It's just easier to go out onto the side of the road and dump it.
The council's CEO believes the state government's waste levy hike has contributed to the growing problem.
That's a 40% increase, and therefore that's going to increase costs yet again, probably lead to more illegal dumping.
Council says litterers who are caught can expect to be met with hefty fines of up to $1,000.
There is quite a large fine, and so it ends up being much more expensive to that person than if they had have just gone to the dump in the first place.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A radical shake-up of Eyre Peninsula football and netball is on the cards. The 108-year-old Great Flinders Football League is considering a merger with the Eastern Eyre League. Nathan Rector has more.
It's set to be a game changer for Eastern Eyre and Great Flinders with the proposal to merge netball and football into one competition. Great Flinders held a meeting last week to discuss the historic plan. It's understood the proposal is a straightforward amalgamation of the two associations. Today, leagues are remaining tight-lipped on the situation, with several club presidents and the two associations declining to speak to 7 Spencer Golf News. The Great Flinders Football League has 6 teams that come from southern and western parts of the Eyre Peninsula, while the Eastern Eyre competition is based around Cow, Kimber, Cleve and Arno Bay. Both associations have seen club numbers decline through club mergers and closures as the region's population goes backwards. If approved, it would create a 10-team league representing the entire Eyre Peninsula, between Whyalla in the north, Port Lincoln in the south and Ceduna in the west. It's understood Eastern Eyre had proposed to keep the same number of netball teams in the competition. Great Flinders Netball Association says the idea would be a bold move and more time was needed to consult before making a final decision. If passed, the merger could occur as soon as next year. Tonight, presidents will meet again to discuss the proposal, hoping to reach an outcome in the coming weeks.
Still to come tonight, Port Lincoln's Catholic parish celebrates a major birthday, and the Crystal Brook Oval to receive a $1 million upgrade. Welcome back. Port Lincoln St Mary of the Angels Catholic Church has celebrated its 150th anniversary. The parish held a special service yesterday with a guest appearance from Bishop Greg O'Kelly.
A morning service to celebrate 150 years of Port Lincoln's Catholic Church. The Jubilee celebrations giving members an opportunity to reflect on the rich history of the parish.
The attitude of the people, it's very kind and loving and friendly and generous. There's something special about it.
Father Adrian Head was ordained in Rome in 1961. He later moved to Port Lincoln to become assistant priest. 2 years later he moved away and wouldn't return for over 5 decades.
When I came back, so many people remembered me, and I hadn't been here for 57 years or so. I was hoping all those years to come back, and I did.
Alongside Father Head was Bishop O'Kelly, who ran today's service, travelling from Port Pirie for the event.
We had numbers of celebrations. Last night we had all the young ones being confirmed and the church was full, and today you saw the church was full. People have come back.
St Mary of the Angels Catholic Church first opened in 1869 by Father Modestus Henderson, the community coming together, celebrating and reflecting on their beginning.
Well, it's a community that considers things, values and the right ways of dealing with people, how to lead a good life.
Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Augusta's Central Oval now has toilets on both sides of the ground after the council finished construction of the facilities. The funds were set aside in last year's council budget. Mayor Brett Benbow says the move will benefit all spectators who watch sport at the Oval.
And it makes it more convenient, more usable for the elderly and the disabled, and that's what it's all about.
It's the first step in a raft of planned upgrades for the complex, including a $1 million government-funded turf upgrade. The Whyalla community is encouraged to put their second-hand items up for sale at the garage sale trail held in October. Local households will be joining over 400,000 people across the country on the 19th and 20th of October. Council says the initiative will educate the residents on the importance of recycling and the positive impact it has on the environment. Major upgrades are being made to Crystal Brooks Oval to help cater for the growing popularity of women's football. Over $900,000 is being spent on the new facilities.
Crystal Brook Football Club has been busy kicking goals for women's footy. The club president says the oval will soon become more accommodating for female players.
It'll make sure that the oval is in good condition during the summer months for the girls to have a good surface to play on as well.
Additional change rooms for females are set to be built next February, with the club currently looking to the SANFL for funding.
So the new change rooms will be there for the women's football during their season, and then also it'll double as a visitors change room.
Close to $1 million is set to be spent on the precinct, with plans to install new lighting and upgrades to the oval's irrigation system.
Women's football's run during the summer months, and with it being summer months, we've got to play at night time because of the heat conditions. So the lights are just going to make that, possible.
The oval's boundary is also set to get a new facelift, with the installation of a white picket fence part of a $60,000 grant from the local council.
The picket fence is just going to be so valuable to the community and the safety of the little kids that come up here and watch play football.
A lot of work's to be done in the coming years with the Crystal Brook Oval itself, but this particular one, stage one, we'll just do the picket fence around this oval.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill Football's Night of Nights, the Lionel Johnston medal count, has just got underway at the Civic Centre. Patrick Reinke has a preview on who's expected to claim the medal.
Tonight's Lionel Johnston medal is looking like a two-horse race, North's Jaden Kelly or South's Mark Purcell. For Purcell, it could finally be the year he gets his second LJ medal. The South captain has had a standout season. With vital midfielders missing like Jordan Johns, Luke Lyons and Todd Davidson, Nugget has played every game this year. 15 matches, 15 times in the South best players. Jaden Kelly has that exact same record for 2019 as well. Chasing his staggering 7th Lionel Johnston medal, Kelly could just edge out Purcell tonight. In addition to being the Bulldogs' best centreman, he's their leading goal scorer too. My tip, Kelly to make it lucky number 7, with some vital best on grounds at the end of the season to put him ahead. As for the Jan Corey medal for best women's footy player, there's plenty of contenders. West, South, Central and North all have their chances. For mine, either Indiana Paul or Phoebe Nell from the Robins. The A-grade team of the year will also be revealed tonight. I'll have a wrap-up of all the winners tomorrow.
Stay with us after the break. We take a look at the weekend's footy action. And Britt will have the latest weather forecast. Hello again. With spring upon us, footy finals fever is gearing up across the region. In the SGL, South Augusta won the minor premiership by the tightest of margins after defeating a spirited West Augusta side. Garth Burley has the weekend wrap.
With Souths eyeing another minor premiership and Westies targeting a finals berth, both sides had plenty to play for. And at the end of the first half, only one goal could separate the rivals. The Bulldogs emerged from the sheds with a point to prove, sharpshooter Azeal Stewart taking full advantage in front of goal. The men in red squandering chances to extend the lead further and giving the Hawks a glimmer of hope. But the form was all South Augusta as they rallied to a 34-point victory, dashing West Augusta's finals dream. In the other matches, Lions finished off the regular season on a high, while Solomon Town fought off a charge from Centrals. In Whyalla, West are the first side to secure a place in the grand final after a nail-biting 5-point win over Centrals. The Roosters will now play North Whyalla, who ended Warona Bay's season, cruising to a 29-point win over the Tigers. In Port Lincoln, Marble Rangers' Corey Beard was the key in his side's semi-final victory over Waybacks, the Magpies kicking 5 goals in the last quarter. United Yelena are also in prime position for grand final glory in the Great Flinders League, booting 20 goals to 7 on their way to a 93-point win over Tumby Bay. In the northern areas, Broughton Mandurah have claimed the bragging rights in a highly anticipated semi-final clash with Crystal Brook. Gene Robinson instrumental in the victory, kicking 5 majors. On the Yorke Peninsula, Southern Eagles defeated Pascaville and CMS Crows defeated Moonta. And finally to Broken Hill, and the preliminary final between North and West was locked at 39 apiece at the end of the third quarter. But the Bulldogs fired up in the final term, 5-0 to book their place in the decider against South next week. So there's all the footy results, and with grand finals approaching, every match counts. So make sure you get out and support your side. I'll be back tomorrow with the rest of sport.
And time to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, John, and good evening. Well, spring is well and truly upon us. Take a look at these numbers. 32 degrees was the region's top temperature today, recorded at Port Augusta. It reached 29 at Whyalla, 27 at Port Pirie, 26 at Broken Hill, and 20 at both Port Lincoln and Adelaide. From the satellite today, cloud producing showers over southern parts with a high pressure ridge keeping skies clear in the north. Moving ahead to tomorrow now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Westerly winds tending southwesterly at 10 to 15 knots with seas at 2 metres. And the sun will rise at 37 minutes past 6. It's looking to be a mostly sunny day with maximum temperatures up to 10 degrees above average about the eastern Eyre Peninsula and the west coast. Port Augusta looking at a top of 30 degrees. Coffin Bay and Broken Hill both 29, Corn 28, Woodner 27, Whyalla 25, Port Pirie and Cleve both 24, Clare 21, Kadina 20, Port Lincoln and Adelaide both 19 degrees. Further through the week, showers and rain expected at Port Lincoln over the coming days with maximums sitting in the mid to late teens. Cleve expecting showers Wednesday through Friday, Woodner looking fine and partly cloudy through the week, with maximums dropping back into the teens by Friday. Fine conditions expected at Whyalla Wednesday and Thursday with showers on Friday. Port Augusta remaining fine and partly cloudy through till Friday, temperatures dropping back around average by the end of the week. Kadina expecting showers Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Looking fine at Port Pirie Wednesday and Thursday with showers on Friday. Clare remaining fine on Wednesday with showers Thursday and Friday. And finally, Broken Hill looking sunny Wednesday and Thursday with partly cloudy conditions on Friday. And John, with temperatures dropping back around average later in the week, let's make the most of these warmer days while we can.
Looks like an early dose of shorts and t-shirt weather in South Australia. Thanks, Britt. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll have some updates later in the evening, but until then, enjoy your night's viewing here on 7. On behalf of the team, it's good night.